Hello tacticians and strategists, admirals and generals, welcome back to Strategic Mind in the Pacific and playing hardball. So we accomplished the Battle of the Coral Sea east of Papua New Guinea or New Guinea and Papua and south of the Solomon Islands. Around here, and well, we have changed history, and now because we are controlling the whole of Papua now, and now the Battle of Midway is the next thing. So we have some information, and our Operation MI is about to commence. So like in real world history, the Japanese wanted to force a decisive battle and ideally destroy the American carrier fleet, so they could, basically enforce a peace deal that would have been favorable for Japan, because of course they knew that they couldn't win a prolonged war, and that is why they chose Midway, because they figured that this would be a territory the Americans would definitely fight for. I will put some very interesting links, especially some videos from Monte Major in the comment section. Very nice videos from the Japanese point of view and the American one, that sums it up very, very nicely. Very interesting, actually. Please do share your thoughts as well. And I just summarize everything in a nutshell. I think that's what I like about this game here as well, is that we actually learn something about the real history, and that they implement that into the narrative, right? So, but just to summarize everything in a nutshell, so the Japanese came with 4 carriers. The Americans knew that they were coming because they had cracked the Japanese naval code, so they had a pretty good idea when and where the Japanese forces would be. They sent these 4 carriers plus an invasion force and also some cruisers and other naval units, and the Americans ambushed them. So the Japanese came from basically from the northwest, sailed towards Midway, but they failed to notice the American forces, the 3 carriers, Yorktown. Among them Yorktown especially, so that was a surprise to the Japanese as well, because they thought they had destroyed the Yorktown. So on that ship, that in itself, this ship lady, you could say, this lady was a really tough ship, you have to say, because she was just patched up after the battle at the Coral Sea. Just within 2 days of repairs and sent to Midway. Yeah, so that is why the Japanese were especially surprised as well, because in combination with the land-based aircraft on Midway, the Americans had actually parity and even a slight advantage in numbers of planes there, while their pilots were not as experienced as the Japanese ones on one hand, and also they suffered basically from a lack of coordination, which actually proved to be a blessing in this regard, because their attack waves, their planes came in waves basically attacking the carriers, which led to the problem for the Japanese that they couldn't really launch their planes. So they had launched an attack on Midway, bombed the 2 islands, and they were waiting for the return. And if they had launched planes, they could not have recovered the returning planes. And those would have, the pilots would have had to land those in the sea, so they could recover the pilots. But then, of course, those planes would be lost, which led the Japanese commander to the decision not to launch any planes in a very, very short time window he had. And he probably wouldn't have been able to launch the sufficient number, so he actually decided not to do it. But then all the planes from Midway came in waves, and also the ambushing forces from the 3 American carriers that the Japanese were also not able to spot because their spy plane didn't see them under cloud cover. Yeah, so Nimitz actually apparently made a pretty good tactical decision to find this cloud cover where the 3 carriers could hide. Yeah, and then they were able to bomb the Japanese carriers, and it turned out that the Japanese carrier design was actually pretty bad because they were not able to put out fires. Yeah, and while they dodged the attacks from Midway pretty nicely, at some point their luck ran out, and the torpedo bombers were actually drawing away the Zero fighter units that were screening the Japanese carrier force, so that some dive bombers could come in, and those put 3 of the 4 carriers on fire basically. And because of the fact that the planes were fueled up, bombs were lying around, were not secured, it led to a chain reaction inside of these carriers, and they were basically on fire, and the Japanese couldn't get control of those fires and had to abandon these 3 ships, which left them with only 1. And with that one, the Japanese stubbornly attacked further, and there the element, or the cultural element, came in as well, because the Japanese basically couldn't really admit defeat, yeah, and they had to do their best, to try their best, or basically die trying, yeah, which then happened. So they also, but maybe they developed some kind of tunnel view or something to take revenge on the Americans, and they actually managed to attack the Yorktown and finally destroy her. And sink her, yeah, but basically she was hit by bombers, but then finally a submarine sank her. Yeah, I mean, things were a little bit more complicated than that, of course, but just in a nutshell, that's what happened here. And in the result was that all 4 Japanese carriers were taken out, which left them only with, I think, 1 other carrier, like a real carrier, and a few of these light carriers. Let's have a look at them. The Soho. Here, this is called Ryuyo class. Here, this auxiliary carrier, right? And we in this game we never bothered. I don't like them because they only have these defensive small caliber weapons. Yeah. Oh well, it's not really small caliber. Here, but I don't find them useful, and I don't think it's a good investment. Although we can launch 2 planes with them, but I like the Shokaku class better, because here we have some more offensive power as well. Although to my understanding, I am using the carriers not according to the carrier doctrine. So for that, you should always keep the carrier way back. But I like to use them a little bit more offensively, as we know by now. Yeah, and the result was that actually the overwhelming numbers of the Japanese had been reduced after the Battle of Midway, and that actually sped the war way up. And well, I mean, the outcome was pretty clear in the end anyway, and right from the beginning that Japan had no chance whatsoever to win a war due to the industrial might of the United States. But this battle sped up the way significantly, because after that the Japanese were not able to do any strategic offensive operations anymore. So they lost that ability. So let's have a look and talk with Nagumo.
I regret ignoring Admiral Yomamoto's order to bomb the Midway Atoll right after the attack on Pearl Harbor.
You should.
I was blinded by our success at the time. Our fleet would have had no trouble bombing that atoll through and through, as it is tiny and could be fired across even with escort ships' artillery. Now, when the garrison has been strengthened and the US fleet is able to provide it help at any moment, the storming of the atoll is a much more difficult task.
Yeah, well, now we have to do that one. So, Ugaki, what do you say?
In the upcoming battles, the conventional means of attack may not be effective enough to overcome the enemy fleet. Regardless, we have lots of strong-willed pilots ready to sacrifice themselves for the sake of our glorious empire. It is high time we form kamikaze special attack squads with them as part of our naval aviation. These suicide attacks will allow our Navy to inflict much more damage to the enemy fleet.
I'm not really convinced of that, actually. But let's have a look at our chest first. So we've got a number of new medals and things are filling up. We didn't get a promotion though. I'm not sure if I did something wrong or not good enough, but yeah, well, that's just what happens. So, but I think we got this one here, right? The Grand Cordon of the Order of the Rising Sun with Paulovnia flowers. That's a beautiful one. And we got, I think, the Knight's Cross with oak leaves. And that's a nice one. German medal. So and now we are going to do the trainings program so that all our units are well trained, rigorously trained, and get 2 levels of experience. That costs us 300 of our 4 victory points, which leaves us with 100. Yeah, I think that was really like the best thing to do. Of course, we could have gotten this one here, the naval artillery. So it appears this one is always like for 3 points. And in the end, I guess it -3. Yeah, so it, on level 3 it would only cost 8 command points. But for that we need more naval artillery, of course. And right now we only have 1 heavy cruiser and 1 battleship. And I would love to buy another heavy cruiser actually, but we will do something different, I think. So otherwise, I already did some thinking about our prestige points. 4,100 sounds very much, but it isn't actually. And we are actually not really able to invest too much, at least from what I'm having in mind. We are not able to invest too much into any equipment again, unfortunately. So the optimization program and all this stuff that I usually find very nice is not very useful. So let's have this artillery here, because saving the 100 points is also not useful, and maybe our artillery that we will land on the Midway Islands can get a better shot like that. Let's see. But it also costs 14 points, so yeah, let's see about that. I mean, we could also, if we keep the 100, then we would have, providing that everything went well, we get another 400 that would sum up to 500. Then we could do... No, there's nothing that costs 300. So pilot diver bombing, yeah, it's probably not necessary. Strategic bomber runs are very expensive. I'd rather do it with our guys because they earn some experience as well. And next time I would rather invest more into the naval artillery. 2 levels. Got this one here. Embarkation, so like our logistics are actually okay. This one might be interesting, so we are recovering quicker, but all in all I think it's okay to wait. Yeah, and we can also be careful. We don't need to shoot up everything totally. Yeah, so that's why we could, and also it's nice, I guess, to have this option at least. So let's get this one. But I hope that after this next mission we will have some prestige to finally upgrade our units, right? So, but let's have a look. So we have our Nagato battleship. We have 1 Mogami class heavy cruiser. Buying another cheap cruiser would cost 2,500, which would leave us at 1,600, and then we can't really buy anything else. Maybe one other destroyer, and then upgrade a little bit. So that's why I think we should rather have a third carrier, which will also increase our air defense. Yeah, so let's have that one. Let's have a third carrier. I think that's a good idea. And for that carrier we'll have... I also feel that we need more planes. Yeah, and from what we know, the Americans do have a lot of planes, so I never felt comfortable without so many fighters. And let's buy 2 squadrons of fighters and 1 torpedo bomber. I like the torpedo bombers because they can be outfitted as normal bombers as well, and they are versatile, especially as torpedo bombers against capital ships, right? So let's have one of those. And that leaves us with just 400 points. So, and that means, let's have a look at the equipment. You guys have that. And by the way, just having one more fighter plane wing didn't do it, in my opinion. And otherwise we wouldn't have had the capacity. We could have used the enlarged hangar here for 500, but then we would have only one additional plane, right? So, which is why I'm preferring one more carrier here. So then, you guys don't have anything. I would love to have the smoke generators, but they are also pretty expensive. Which is why I think our subs could actually do with the way better torpedo over here. Especially as these subs with torpedo expert and evasive maneuvering, they are more our offensive types, right? Our first attack, or first wave of attack. So I think that we should not use, that we most likely will not use more than one tank unit, so, or maybe these 2. So this one can lose its equipment for the moment. They can keep it. They can lose this armored type, which frees up some prestige. And then instead of the heavy machine gun, I think we should rather have a radar, because with that we also attack better during the night. So let's do that. Well, ammunition is probably nice, so let's keep it. Also, it's not so expensive. Same goes with these guys. Let's bring a radar. 50. And they all, yeah, they can get the incendiary shells, although I guess that we are not using them. And our infantry works pretty well, I think. So then the zeros, we can upgrade the zeros to the M22 version, which is pretty decent for 40 prestige. Let's do that for all the zeros. These ones, the new ones, are already the newest one. You guys, D3A1. Oh, I think I might have missed that, or maybe we didn't have the resources. Let's have a better dive bomber. I would actually like to have more dive bombers as well. But for now, I think it's more important to have more fighters, because we know that most likely we'll engage some carriers, right? And then there will be a lot of planes in the air. But I plan to upgrade the 2 carriers here, maybe next time, and then we can have, like with the enlarged hangar, and then we can have the another dive bomber. Then you guys, BN2, that's already the newest version. Yeah, that's fine. So that's all we have. So let's maybe have another better destroyer. And you guys all have Overwatch, right? Yeah. So let's have these guys. Yugumo, I think that's pretty much... it's really a lot. It's really worth a lot. Let's do that. We have 118. Or maybe is there any equipment that we could actually use nicely? Tara. No, it's very expensive. So I think we should rather have another Yugumo. For 100, I think that's probably the best. Or we give our guys. So you guys don't need bombs right now. You have the radar. Maybe our heroes should have radars. You guys can have some bombs. Oh, and you have some older type torpedoes, so let's do it like this. And now we have 148. Let's have a look at the heroes. You serve with the infantry, you have a 0, you have the torpedo bomber, you have a destroyer, you have the submarine, you have a carrier, and for you we still need to damage capital ship hulls. So let's do the level up first before we make a decision, because then we can actually see better maybe what to do with the equipment and maybe get another bonus or something. So with the heavy cruiser, I think rip the hull is always great. I would like to have someone with the task force as well though. And I think, well, I think actually like our new Shokaku can do it. So you guys get Overwatch planes and you become a task force. Center of organization for task force. I think that's probably a good idea. Then everybody gets a bonus, so yeah, that means you can get rip the hull, because shooting the destroyers, that's the main purpose in my opinion for the big battleships, or like for the cruisers, to suck up the damage. And here I felt, by the way, that scouting is tremendously good, and that might even be better than anything. So we can sail out of the enemy's range. So we can sail in. So let's put it on every destroyer that we can. So we can sail in, shoot up someone, and then sail away again. Because the enemy needs to find us as well, right? Scouting. So you guys... I'm a bit confused that we can't go beyond level 5 when we saw enemies that have more. And I think in the beginning in the tutorial or something they said that the maximum for hero units is 10 actually. And that's why I... with him, why I actually didn't take the ammo. So if I could change it, I would actually rather get rid of the forward observer and take the more ammo, because we are really shooting through it a lot. And I guess when we are on the offensive, we'll always have some logistical problems. So with them, evasive maneuvering is okay though. These guys, yeah, with the tanks, it's always the thing. I don't feel that any of these abilities here really do a lot. But here for these guys, seal the deal, and then maybe let's have aggressive maneuver. Or maybe actually no, swift strike is probably better. If there's defensive artillery. to that. And then you guys, let's have one tank that does this tank line. So we provide fire support against hard targets to allied tanks in adjacent hexes in case we find enemy tanks. But I think on Midway we are not going to find any enemy tanks. And you can be the swift tank and have aggressive maneuver, right? Yeah. So like this. And then our scouts, they become forward observers. That's great. Due to their very long spotting range. Our anti-air, yeah, is defender, of course. That's the best. Air combat support could also be interesting, like for the third one. For the third level. Level up. And then you guys, you're also defense. Yeah. Let's be defensive with you. Artillery, they are defenders, and I think counter battery could be interesting. Deadly is probably not so interesting because when we shoot our artillery, then we'll follow up on people anyway. So fire discipline seems to be the best thing for the moment. But then counter battery is certainly a good thing. So let's have fire discipline so we can shoot more. Thinking long term, these guys. Then our Riku scouts. They also become veterans of trenches. That's excellent for saving soldiers' lives. These are our heroes, so we could actually get rid of the, or we could get the assaulter at some point. Because then we could get different equipment and we don't need the flamethrowers anymore, and then we could get something that is actually increasing our ability significantly. Yeah, or maybe at some point we could loot something or so. However, I feel that we, you know, that usually it's not worth it to get them the very heavy equipment because then they can't deploy via air, and I find that very, very useful with all this island hopping. Yeah. And the incredible resistance is of course great, but as we can do the banzai charge 3 times, so that's actually also not so bad. So I feel like with them we will probably take the swift strike. Devastating fire is probably not so interesting because I'd prefer to always shoot up someone first to prepare them for an infantry assault. So these Riku Sentai, let's have them. Maybe let's have one forward observer. Let's have one with forced march, so they are a little bit more flexible, and let's have one guy in case. Although I never want to attack when there's but sometimes we might have to, so that's the thing. So let's do this. And then at the third they can get terrain expert. So then all these zeros. I feel the link the fight is a great thing. But I think we should, yeah, now that we have some more fighters, we should make some of them more defensive and some more offensive. So our hero here, that's him, Hiroyoshi Nichisawa, is very offensive, and I love the scouting. That's really great. But with attacking twice every second turn with devastating fire and the flexibility as a fighter, yeah, with all these move points, I think that's enough, so we don't really need overrun. Incredible resistance could be great for him. And I think that should probably be the next one. So let's have these guys more as a offensive unit. They certainly need all weather at some point, but first strike could be a good thing. Linking the fight and first strike. Boom and zoom. That could certainly be a good thing. Let's have one boom and zoom guy. This guy is all weather. So they are our offensive squad. And then we have two more fighters who can be more defensive. Let's have them defenders. Let's be defenders. And then this guy, let's try this one out. Upon activation, the unit loses the ability to move and attack this turn, but gains 4 air attack and 4 air defense. So that sounds pretty good. But I think we should also, like we have, oh yeah, no, we have, this way we have 3 guys. Yeah, let's have 3 planes that can do the link the fight. I think that's probably a good thing. One with air cover, that might be sufficient. Because usually I would put the defensive planes adjacent to each other so they can give support to each other. And then either the enemy attacks the stronger one with air cover, or the stronger one that gives air cover attacks first as a supporting fire. So, and let's have link the fight here. Just so that we have the option to hold enemies in place. So these guys, yeah, scouting is so great. Then these guys, yeah, I think tactical retreat is probably the best for them. Bombing and then flying away a bit. I think that's probably the most useful thing. Tactical retreat after attacking. Seal the deal. He's the last one to attack. So let's have all weather. Or swift strike during the attack gets 50% less damage from support. Yeah, let's have this guy be the first one to attack with swift strike. So, alright, and that's it. You know, we've got 148 prestige points to spend on equipment. There are no more upgrades that are useful right now. I'm not even sure if we need 2. Well, let's have a look. What is there? Well, actually, I took a look off camera, but there's actually nothing really. Except for the planes that we already did. So we could upgrade our guys. We could upgrade one more Carguero, and I think that's what we are going to do. So, and then these guys, they're all the same. And also, experience-wise, they're all the same now. So let's upgrade this one for 90, which leaves us with 58. Oh, I could have given the hero a radar, huh? Oh, for 70. Oh. Well then, let us get rid of some equipment. Maybe with these guys. I have reasonable doubts that there will be extensive tank fighting on these little islands if our escorts, as they say, can shoot all over the place. So this here is our hero as well. We have scouting, wreck ships and devastating fire, so we don't need to get away, but he can get something that makes him more effective, which is of course the radar. So we can attack better during the night. So let's do that. So he gets a radar. So these two have a radar now. And that's it. We have 8 points left. 8 is a lucky number. So let us commence. Let's hope those are the good decisions. And the enemy is intimidated, so their pilots are fearful now. So, Battle of Midway, major naval battle, aircraft carriers battle and landing operation.
By your decree, the headquarters is devising a plan of attack on Midway. Operation MI. By capturing Midway, we will, once and for all, secure Tokyo from the U.S. air raids.
That is good news. Admiral Nagumo, you performed well during the Battle of the Coral Sea. Thus, you will take command of the upcoming operation.
Thank you, Yamamoto-san. I will do my best to live up to the trust you put in me. Your giving me a second chance was, well, worth it.
It is a second chance not only for you, but also for the Imperial Navy. We did not manage to destroy the enemy carriers during the attack on Pearl Harbor. So, at Midway, we will have an opportunity to start a major naval battle and fully destroy the U.S. Pacific Fleet. We cannot miss this opportunity, no matter what the cost.
Aye, aye, Admiral.
Admiral Yamamoto, our engineers and pilots have come up with a new weapon called the Divine Wind. Oftentimes, we lack the time for new pilots training, but many of our recruits are eager to die for the Emperor. Even pilots with shortened training programs will manage to ram their planes packed with explosives into the enemy ships. Such attacks will show the United States our spirit and resolve. We will destroy the morale of our opponents.
Yes, absolutely. The Americans will be extremely surprised by such a feat. However, I would rather not resort to this instrument of war unless absolutely necessary.
Yamamoto-san, plenty of our young Japanese are just dreaming about this golden opportunity. Do not let down their hopes. I am ready to fly this type of plane myself into an ultimate attack on our enemy.
My decision was not ambiguous. We will use the Divine Wind only if there is no other way, and ordinary means are not good enough.
As you command, Admiral.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to show
Our
that.
Navy has honored itself with many heroic acts throughout this war, but they all pale in comparison to what the Navy is about to do now. I do not need to tell you about the strategic importance of Midway. You know all about that. Now, when we finally reach the goal of acquiring the resources, it is of critical importance we expand the defensive perimeter of the Empire and finish the destruction of the U.S. Navy that we started in Pearl Harbor. However, there is an additional reason to seize Midway as soon as we can. The barbaric raids of bombers from the American carriers have angered the Emperor and shocked the Japanese nation. We can't let this happen again. The combined fleet must kick the enemy out of the North Pacific once and for all. May the gods favor you and your men in the upcoming battle.
All task forces are out in the target areas awaiting for further orders.
Admiral Ugaki, would you be so kind as to go over the Operation MI in detail?
Certainly, Admiral Yamamoto. The main goal of the operation is to take over Midway Atoll, which also includes Sand Island and Eastern Island. According to intelligence, Midway is well fortified and has a large U.S. air group based there. Apparently, our Marines and the assigned Army forces will face fierce resistance. This is why the Navy must attack Midway, destroy the planes based there, and support the landing of our troops. The American Navy will most likely head to Midway as soon as we start the battle. In case the enemy task forces appear, we must intercept and destroy them. Destroying the enemy's fleet is one of the most important goals of the operation, along with Midway's occupation.
Where is the enemy's fleet located?
What I can tell you for sure is that it's nowhere near Midway. No large enemy forces have been detected by the submarines we sent to scout the area. We don't know anything else about the location of the American fleet, as we were unable to do reconnaissance of its main base, Pearl Harbor. However, if the enemy is there, we will have enough time to get ready to meet them. That includes if they come out right after we start the attack. The enemy's fleet will have to cover more than 1,100 miles. That is exactly why the first thing we must do is launch an attack on Midway, taking advantage of the element of surprise. At the same time, we can disorient the enemy with a supporting attack on the Aleutian Islands, seizing Attu Island, Kiska Island, and the Dutch harbor base on Unalaska Island. I hope it will divert a part of the enemy forces.
I wouldn't want anyone to accuse me of cowardice. Yet, as I see it, we have far too many guesses about the enemy and not nearly enough real information. Our fleet is facing a great deal of uncertainty, and that is bad. Either way, though, I am ready to do my duty until the end.
That is exactly what you have to do. Now, our duty is to move forward and fight in the name of the Emperor. Put your doubts aside. The Imperial Navy will come back from Midway with a victory so great, it will be glorified for centuries.
There we go. Oh, it is raining. Okay, what I meant was, I forgot to show it. I had a look about... Yeah, there we go. So this is like the kamikaze aircraft squad. However, it costs 700. So I don't think that this is remotely worth it in comparison to a whole carrier with planes. Yeah, like a whole fighter squad or something. Yeah, not remotely, but maybe during the mission we might get it and try it out. Also, the submarines.
I can't wait any longer.
Can use kamikaze manned torpedo squads now, but these also cost 400, and as we saw, you know, I think it wasn't worth it. That's why I didn't even consider it. Yeah.
I'm in position.
But maybe we can try it out during the mission, where once we've earned more prestige or something, because after the mission we can get rid of this equipment again. Yeah, but I also find it unethical because the soldier doesn't have a chance to survive, and if you order an attack, then every soldier does have even a remote chance to survive, and they deserve that chance, right? But ordering someone to basically kill themselves is not effective, in my opinion. Yeah. Can be necessary, but a war where that would be really necessary shouldn't be fought in the first place. So here we are. Let's have a look. These are the Aleutians Islands, Kiska, Attu and Kiska. So that's one of our secondary objectives, like as a diversion. This one here is Atka. There's nothing on there. There is Unalaska. It's all mountainous. We can't actually land here, and it's all mountains, so we need to approach from here. There's only one tile where we can actually do a landing, so we would need to destroy everything with naval batteries. There's a swamp, and there's something red here, but we can't see anything. Okay. So and here we have clear, but only there. Yeah, otherwise it's rough. So we can only land here. If we land here and something is there, they can shoot at us. So we need to do some good recon. Over here, it's all rough. That's mountains. We can also only land here. So what we need to do is just shoot these guys, which is why whatever there is, we need to shoot everything, which means that we need some naval artillery around. And I am actually inclined to put a carrier up here. One of our carriers. So we have 3 carriers now. Then what do we have here? We have these guys. Oh yeah, we need to...
A battleship is like a fugu fish.
Oh yeah, nice. So it's a good heavy cruiser. Let's level it up. Can have overpower and rip the hull. This is the bane of any distress
We have more
get.
guns than the entire enemy fleet.
You get very nice modern Shokaku class model 42 carriers. Although now we know that they are actually very, very susceptible to burn, to fires. Fire damage, so the damage control is a catastrophe. By the way, in comparison to the American ability for damage control, yeah, so the Americans were really, really good at it. Because during this battle, the Japanese were actually thinking they had destroyed the Yorktown, but the Yorktown's fires were put out, and she survived, and the Japanese attacked her another time, and even that didn't destroy her, didn't even sink her. So she needed this submarine attack to sink her. So let's have air defense, and yeah, by the way, so we do have one. We have one carrier that does have the task force right now, right? So maybe is this here? So we have one Yugumo class, another Kagero, and the Tone class battle cruiser, and we have the two Shokaku carriers here, and there we have infantry and one Kagero class destroyer and a Chiha tank. That's the one we have as well. That's good against infantry. Let's have it with Swift Strike. We don't want to seal the deal with it because our other units should have the let's have Night Hunter then. The others should get, our own core units should get the experience if possible. Let's have the Night Hunter. So these guys, and then that's it. Yugumo to one Kagero, one Yugumo. So we are kind of short on destroyers, but not overly so. And I think we should make one of these
we
guys
are the heart
here.
of the Imperial Navy, no matter what the battleships say.
The task force. Let's have this one, the central one, a task force, and we can keep everyone together. I think that might be a good idea. This one is task force, and the northern one.
Are there new orders from our godly emperor?
Overwatch planes, and you become a defender. Yeah, within 2 hexes, that's quite a short distance actually. So let's have him as defender thanks to the long range. So what I'm actually missing is some kind of battle cruiser, a cruiser that is optimized for air defense. So something that has maybe even 2 batteries
from our godly emperor?
of these dual purpose guns. Yeah, that would be great. I like a ship like that.
Good day, Commander.
And then maybe with the lighter gun, the lighter main gun or something, or none at all, but like 2 or even 3 batteries of these 127mm,
We serve faithfully.
and the ability to provide this anti-air screen like the carrier. So then we do have this Yugumo is over here, and you have Overwatch planes and also scouting.
Your orders.
This guy. Also Overwatch and scouting. Scouting is really great, I think.
I'm in position.
And you are there. Yeah, I think everybody gets scouting. I think that's even better for defensive purposes than the evasive maneuvering. This is just an equivalent of 2 points, and if we are not being shot at all, that's even better, isn't it?
Our strength is in
Especially if we
numbers
don't
of dead enemies.
keep these guys anyway. Servant, scouting. And then our destroyers can rush forward and attack the enemy that our heavier units have already softened up a bit. So these guys are veterans of trenches. And let's have this guy force march. Or maybe forward observer. No, force march. And that guy Veterans of trenches. Maybe this guy is forward observer. So. Right. Yeah, forced merchant. Yeah, like that. Oh, and these guys
are the swarm.
Already got the level, so this one is all-weather and defender.
Who do you want me to kill?
All-weather defender.
Those bombs are heavy.
All-weather swift strike.
Are we fully loaded?
All-weather swift strike.
The weight of our bombs makes me
All-weather
feel more
swift
confident.
strike.
Those bombs are quite
And
dangerous,
all-weather swift strike. Okay, well. Which is actually not so good. I would have preferred them to have the tactical retreat, actually. But well. Because that means that these guys are staying at their target, which is bad. But well, so now we have 2 carriers over here. And they all come with 1 fighter wing, 1 dive bomber wing, and 1 torpedo wing. Okay,
systems operation.
You are the one that is the defender, and you are the task force. So good. Which means
we bring the storm.
Let's bring
Firestorm.
our flagship here, and we'll bring.
We will not let the Emperor down.
We'll bring 2.
If the
we'll bring
battleships
1
are the muscle of the
carrier.
Imperial Navy, we are its brain.
I mean, task force would be good down here, actually. And this one is 3 hex range. That's actually, yeah, 1 naval air and torpedo defense. So what my thinking is now, just to think, so we know that the enemy is not around Midway, which means of course they must be around here somewhere, right? Around the sea, or around the Aleutian Islands, but as they are not strategically not extremely significant, and there are also no flight fields, there's no airport here, no airfield. While we see that there is 1 airfield here and there's another one here on Sand Midway and Eastern Midway Island, which would put the enemy certainly like around there, I would guess, maybe in the lower half. So let's have the task force carrier here. And let's have the other carrier up
Imperial
here.
Navy, no matter what the battleships
And
say.
my idea is now that we are shooting up and conquering these 2 islands as quickly as possible, and then this task group up here can then sail in and attack whatever fleet we find from the north. West, northwest, west. While our main force will be here in the central area and engaging them directly, and 1 carrier we have oh no, and oh, we don't have any heavy unit here, so let's put our
Good day, Commander.
Our heavy cruiser here. Maybe actually.
We serve faithfully.
Yeah, no, sorry, it's
All
the
crew is
Mogami
reporting.
there. This Shukaku with task force. Here.
We serve faithfully.
We'll have our battleship here. In the center, but we need
Imperial
someone who
destroyer
can suck up some
Asher
damage,
serves.
which is our lucky Tamaichi Hara. And I can't wait for the guy to get scouting and first strike and stuff. And he also needs Overwatch planes. Oh, and he needs elusive. There are so many good things he could have. So I actually like the destroyers a lot. So we'll have one destroyer up here, which is one Yugumo, and let's have one Kagero. Overwatch plane, so everybody has Overwatch planes and scouting now, right? Just to make sure that there is no mistake happening.
Your orders.
Yeah, it's fine. Do we have anybody who has actually experience beyond level 2? I don't think so, huh?
Do you require assistance?
No, we don't. Okay, well.
Protectors
then let's have one Kagero up here. And I think that should be sufficient to shoot up the enemies, because we will have 3 planes here as well on the carrier, which puts us into the position to put destroyers around. So we do have only one Kagero here and one Yugumo, so let's have one Yugumo there, one Yugumo down here, this Yugumo there, and Kagero here in the north, like so. So there we go. And then let's have our best submarine here. Yeah, sorry. So that doesn't, it's very difficult to deploy the submarine. So like this. Now it's under, it's sailing under. Sorry. So like this. I just wanted to turn around, but it doesn't do it. Okay. Let's have one sub. These guys have some experience. They have both the better torpedo. Let's have you guys here also as a scout. Yeah, now he goes like as a cross, so we can actually see it. Let's have one here, and let's have 2 up here then. One there. So and now for the invasion forces, or maybe firstly the fighters.
The sky is like an ocean.
Our hero.
Sharks.
Going to be here.
What does the Emperor want us to do?
This guy who is offensive.
Our guns
this
are
guy
always
who is
ready.
all-weather and link the fight. This guy is the defensive one. He goes here. So we'll have 2 defensive, 2 fighters there. And this guy is linking and defender. So you can be...
Who do you want me to kill?
You have boom and zoom.
No one can escape our fire.
So let's actually, let's have the all-weather guy
the warriors of
in
the sky
north.
Are at your command.
Over here.
A fighter here.
And actually let's have 2 fighters down here, because they can also fly over there very quickly, I think. But I guess I don't want to attack immediately. I don't want to attack the islands immediately. What I want to do is actually engage any naval units as quickly as possible, right? Although our primary objective is the Midway atoll, but if we have destroyed the enemy's naval forces, nothing can oppose us anyway, right? And then our ships, so I think our ships shouldn't be distracted from the islands at the moment. We just stay clear. I guess they will have something to shoot us with, and of course they have the planes. But I guess we should rather stay clear of them for the moment, because otherwise we are just diverging our forces, which is bad. And yeah, also we might stir up a hornet's nest from here as well, you know. So let's firstly destroy any enemy opposition on the sea and find these carriers. So we have 2 fighters there, 1 fighter there, and then we'll have 2 fighters here. So then we have 1 dive bomber. I think we should have the dive bomber up here, as we are not going to do a lot of air attacks on the ground at Midway at the moment. So then we do have the hero. I mean, he's probably most useful actually. And we start in the early day. It's probably most useful over here to destroy everything that is here as quickly as possible, actually. But we don't know, on the other hand, how quickly we find the enemy or the enemy finds us. So let's have the hero around here. One dive bomber.
Are we
Then
fully loaded?
you guys all have tactical retreat,
We bring
right?
death on our
And
wings.
seal the deal.
Those bombs are heavy.
Swift strike
Imperial Air
and
Service.
all-weather. So let's have the all-weather guy up here. And let's have seal the deal.
The weight of our bombs makes me feel more confident.
Yeah, seal the
The weight
deal
of our
here.
bombs makes me feel more confident.
He has, yeah, tactical retreat as well. That's great. Okay, good. So we will here like so. Alright. And then for our real invasion forces. So we do have 2 infantry and 1 tank. And our fleet will shoot up the island anyway. Plus we'll have some air defense and stuff. So, but I think we definitely should have some anti-air, which we can deploy. Let's have it there. You need eyes on the ground.
At your service.
You guys go here, and we'll keep our invasion force in the back. I hope that submarines will be engaged with our ships actually, and will not find them back here. And then these guys. Yeah, we might even want to have another group. So let's have 1 air defense up here. And we'll have 1 tank for each island. Right? So we'll bring
An
our
iron horse is
Chiha.
good, however,
Space
I miss
armor.
my stallion.
We'll have this one here down here. Yeah, let's bring this one down here as well. I don't think that we will encounter any tanks, but if we do, then I guess it's fine. So then we'll have 1 artillery in the back, and let's have
War is our path.
our Rico Flamers. I think they will see more action up here actually, and like quicker action. But probably more fighting down here. But we can fly them in. Now let's have the hero here. So like that. There's the hero. And then let's have scouts.
Yes, Commander.
Let's have 1 unit of scouts here as well, so they can get some information. And let's have, as invasion forces, let's have just 2 guys like you, 1 scout and 1 flamer here. And we don't need the normal
Japanese warriors are the most feared and deadly of all.
guys.
We will die if necessary.
Or the mortars maybe, but I think it's fine. So this here is only a supply point. So I guess we can only land there on clear terrain. So I guess like getting out of here is the only chance is a plane. Yeah, but I think this is how we can roll. And I'm not sure, but we probably, once we have taken this one here, we can bring in more ground troops if necessary anyway. So this is how we can roll, I think. That way we have an income of 12, which is not good. I'd actually like one artillery strike per turn, one additional, but yeah, we'll see. So this is how we can roll, I think. It's probably not too much invasion force. And actually, what am I doing here? We need... Let's have you guys. Scouts. You don't need scouts. You can use scouts up there. Because we have 2 infantry. One of them is a forward observer already, so... These guys are the flamers for the island. It's good. Yeah, so yeah, that's fine. That's the invasion force, and then an anti-air and the infantry for the second island from the north. And once we've taken this one here, I guess we can very easily get over there as well, and then we can attack them from 2 directions. So I think that's the plan. That's a good plan. So let's start the thing. Ending deployment. The Battle of Midway. So, and as this episode has gone on for a while, we are only doing the first attack on R2, I think, and we are doing the recon. So
We bring the storm. Firestorm.
let's do a recon
Verify the enemy's location.
in the rain. What do we see? Oh, there is stuff going on. We do have an anti-aircraft here, so they have fortified this island somewhat. Artillery, regular infantry, and this one here we don't know. They are too well hidden. Okay. Yeah, the big question is. So then let's have a look here. Anything
Verify
there?
the enemy's location.
Okay, now we know there are 2 units there and maybe something over here behind, but no ships. So the priority should be to find ships.
Verifying the enemy's location.
Nothing there.
Verifying the enemy's location.
Oh, there's something. There are ships there.
Verifying the enemy's location.
Oh yeah, we found the fleet, or a fleet. Clemson class. Oh, and a heavy cruiser, Northampton class. Okay. 3. And down here, more possibly. Do it like this, or maybe like this.
Verifying the enemy's location.
Okay. Ah. Oh. Okay. 3 Northampton. Okay, so they really brought their cruisers around, but no contact with the enemy carriers. And then here. Like so.
Verifying the enemy's location.
Ah, there are more ships here. Okay. Oh, and anti-air already here. Okay. But no coastal fort. Alright. Let's do it like this, and then we should see
Verifying
anything that is
location.
here on the island as well. Oh yeah. Northampton, okay. So now we are down at 21 command points. Let's have a look here. So just we know that what we are getting into. Maybe like so, no, like this.
Verifying the enemy's location.
Ah yeah, more ships, okay. Oh yeah, and there are coastal batteries, okay. Well, now we are down at 18 command points. Oh, they have like a lot of artillery there, okay. And they have planes, obviously. P-40 fighter, tactical bombers of the B-26 type. Oh yeah, and by the way, so they are intimidated. The previous military success of the enemy troops makes this unit doubt its chances. It has -1 to all combat parameters. Intimidated, but they are all well trained and experienced. This guy is not though. Regular infantry, okay. Anti-air there, okay. Forward anti-air, extra reach. Okay, so this one here, coastal battery, we didn't really have a good look at it, but this one here, I think they are all the same anyway. They always have radar. And by the way, I read some stuff, so it's possible that the Japanese didn't even have radar for themselves. So we do have an unfair advantage here actually, but maybe our radar is more rudimentary than the American one. This one here they have also 4. No, well, yeah. Speaking of role-playing now, I guess that's for balancing issues. So I think, I mean, unless something is here, but I think we shouldn't use any more. Oh well, we could use one more. But where did I put it? Like there and then here, right? Like there somewhere? Oh no, like here. I'd rather use our submarine spy plane. So we have one sub, where's the other sub?
We are the Sea
You are
Wolves.
there,
Finally, some
you
orders.
are here. Okay. Now let's be careful.
Our strength
here.
is in numbers of dead enemies.
So they can actually go. So this is like the normal Clemson. They have Overwatch planes and evasive maneuvering. And they don't have anything. That's good. These guys are rookies. So they can't do the scouting move. That's a good thing. But of course they are harder to hit. Yeah, and then we can't know. Okay, and the heavy cruisers, I would figure they all have. Oh no, this guy. They are even inexperienced. That's great for us. Yeah, they usually have Ripdal and Overpower, which is a sensible thing to have. But here we don't know. So we couldn't see how disciplined the guys were. But I think that's, for the moment, that's enough information. We're not getting close to these islands in a while, so there's no need to check out anything.
Protectors of the fleet. No one can stop me, except for you.
Let's check for subs. Okay, and then let's have a shot at this artillery.
For Japan, and for the admiral.
Good. And let's have a shot at the... Or maybe actually this guy can shoot back, right? He has additional ammunition. So let's weaken this guy. We have another destroyer.
Greetings from the Imperial Navy.
Good.
Your orders.
And then you
Moving carefully.
coming like so. Maybe we... This is 1, 2. So if we go here, if we go there, but I want to go back again. So we have to stay here. Okay, no sub around. Good. Then you
Have a taste
take this
of
guy
our
once. And let's attack. No, I wanna attack this guy. The question is, no, the guy is not shooting at we are in range. He's not shooting in defense. Target this guy and then we use our carrier.
If the battleships are the muscle of the Imperial Navy, we are its brain. With our aircraft, it is not necessary to come close to the enemy.
Then we are defenders and Overwatch in case a plane flies in, but actually I do have my doubts because there are no planes. Yeah, he's shooting back. Where is he? No, let's rather use a plane. So let's shoot this guy.
We were an easy target, didn't they?
Good, she's demoralized. So now we use
The
our
warriors
zero
of the sky
to destroy this
are
guy.
at your command. They will pay in blood. I've lost count of how many enemies have been killed.
Good. And then you,
Imperial Air Service.
our torpedo bomber. Yeah, can do that.
Let's lose some weight. Incredible. They're still able to run.
Okay, we got unlucky there, I guess. So you guys are the scouts. You are the flamers. So the scouts go first. And they attack these guys to get information.
All enemies of the Emperor will be defeated.
Very
One
good.
more enemy killed.
We got the information. The target data, that's good. Now you guys.
Japanese warriors are the most feared and deadly of all.
It would have been nicer to be up here though. Actually, it was not so good that they fled. And we can't disembark here because then they get the free shot, even though it's raining.
The
Let's
samurai
rather
are
not
on
do
the
that.
march.
Actually, I had hoped that things would be quicker. But it's fine. So I guess it's
All
fine.
systems operational.
They have a torpedo bomber. And those guys, they are regular infantry 1 star, poor morale. And they go the same. Terrain expert. Okay. They get +2 terrain expert in the city.
You can't hide from the blast waves. Carrying bombs to enemy lines.
Do you require assistance? Searching for the enemy.
Okay, so there doesn't seem to be any ship around. Good. So, then, what happens next, my dear fellow strategists and tacticians? We will see in the next episode. So we do have quite a number of ships around, actually. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 destroyers. And we have not found the carrier group. If there is one, of course, but we are guessing that there is one. And these guys, they do have a defensive screen for planes, so I think we are going to be rather careful.
All crew is reporting.
I think we are going to be careful, and maybe we should try to let them come to us. Yeah, that could be the right decision. So, and I guess we will see a lot of usage of the special ammunition here, because we need to get rid of the guys as quickly as possible. And I think that's actually one thing, like, out of the greed.
The Navy is the stalwart defender of
I could
the
have done
Empire.
better last mission, I think, because it's while it costs prestige to use these ammunitions, of course, if you can destroy the enemy quicker, then the enemy can't shoot at you and don't mess up your units, and then it doesn't cost so much, I guess, right? So I guess we'll see some burning ships here. Hopefully those are not ours. So then, that being said, thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts on real world history or this game, strategy and tactics, how would you have done it, or how would you do it? Please do share your thoughts in the comment section. You know, as always, this Let's Play also functions as a walkthrough. And as tips for all people who want to play this game. And I personally can really recommend it. It's really nice. Really sucked me in. I'm a little bit addicted to it at the moment. Please do so in the comment section so the community can profit from it. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who would appreciate it. And I would also appreciate if you click the like button and subscribe to the channel so you never ever miss an episode again. See you next time. Bye bye.